Did we start?
I think we're starting.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Welcome back to the Ringers NBA Palooza. I'm going to answer some questions that people sent in for the next 20 or so minutes. If you have a question, send it to us on Twitter, @Ringer, or on Facebook or YouTube. We'll find a question if you send it. I'm just going to read through these. The first one is from Danny. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Starts with an H. Would you rather lose to your kids in Tecmo Bowl 100 times in a row or lose to listen to a J. Cole album? Fuck that question. Let me go to the next one. How dare you? Why is that the first one? Will any individual Bulls player score more than 25 points in a single game? That's from Chris Ulmer, sounds like. What's crazy is I am a professional basketball writer. That's my job. I get paid to do that. That's how I take care of my family. I can't name more than 2 players on the Bulls. So no, nobody's going to score more than 25 points in a single game. Would you give up a Spurs championship to undo the LaMarcus Aldridge extension? That's from Squilliam. That's a terrible name, Squilliam. No, Squilliam, I would not give up a Spurs championship to undo the LaMarcus Aldridge extension. I was explaining this earlier. What's happening right now is some like super House of Cards shit. Pop has to sit down with LaMarcus because he wants to make him feel comfortable. Then they signed the extension for him, and now he feels great. And he's going to play balls out in the season. And then come like January, December sometime, they're going to trade him. And that's what's going to happen. I'm calling it right now. Next question from I'm Just Keating. That's so stupid. Would you rather is every question LaMarcus Aldridge based? Would you rather LaMarcus Aldridge sign an extension or have J. Cole dedicate his next album to you? I would like for J. Cole to dedicate his album to me. That way I can listen to it every night before I go to sleep. The next question, K-Rod2423. Which current Spurs player would you want to be the official spokesman for Wingstop and why? Kawhi. Kawhi, because he's already a spokesman for Wingstop. Also, I like the idea of a Wingstop somewhere in San Antonio. So there you go. Kenny L. Chapman, what monster from any movie would have the best chance at beating LeBron in pickup? That's a good question. I think if you're allowed to use your weapon that you have in your movie, then it's got to be Leatherface. It's a big, beefy guy with a chainsaw. I feel like Michael Myers might be all right, but I also think like maybe knives don't work against LeBron. Like you can stab him in the chest and he'll be like, nah, bitch, and it'll just bend, so it doesn't work. So I would go Leatherface with the chainsaw. If you don't get the weapon, then you probably have to go the alien from Alien, the xenomorph. It's the only one's got a chance. What was the most heartbreaking basketball moment for you? Oh, no question. It was the 2004 Game 5, second round of the playoffs, Spurs-Lakers. That's the 0-4 shot that Derek Fisher hit. The Spurs were up 2-0 in that series. The Lakers came back and tied it. If I'm not mistaken, that was the series where after the Spurs went up 2-0, somebody not nice on the Lakers was like very dismissive of the Spurs. That's what they were supposed to do. And it was at that moment all of my sort of confidence fell out of my body. And then, they lost the next 2. And then the Spurs were going to win Game 5. Tim Duncan hits this crazy, goofy fadeaway shot over Shaq to put the Spurs up by 1. And then 0.4 seconds left, they throw it to Derek Fisher, and he hits that shot. And a terrible thing about that game is I was actually watching it with my dad. I was in college at the time. And him and my mom had come up to visit, so we're watching it together. Tim Duncan hits his shot. We go fucking nuts. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. I remember shoving my dad into, like, the bookshelf, and we were just so excited. And, like, I was like, oh, please, just don't let something stupid happen. And then the shot went up and in, and we were both just 100% silent. We knew the series was over. It was terrible. I hate that series. Fuck Derek Fisher forever. The next one, @WatchSteveTweet. Any advice for someone afraid to take their first step towards their dream? Oh, we got heavy, quick. Just fucking take it. That's all there is to it. A year from now, you're either going to be that much closer or in the same spot. So just fucking make a decision. Like, which of those guys do you want to be? The guy who did it or the guy that didn't? There you go. Corey Shiplet. What would the guy version of Clueless be? Oh, this is a rewatchables. The guy version of Clueless is Clueless. Clueless is fantastic. Just watch Clueless again. Dominic Sheldon, as a man with tremendous food taste, shout out Taco Bell, how important is hot sauce to you, and which is the best? I say tapatio. My lady says Cholula. It's tapatio. That's the one to go with. Also, I really like bad food. Who would win in a fight, Eddie Curry or Kendrick Perkins? This is from Coleb Patnam, I think. It depends on which version of each of those guys you get. The only way Eddie Curry is winning that fight is if he gets to fight Kendrick Perkins like 10 minutes after Kendrick Perkins blows out his knee in the finals. It's the only way. Otherwise, Kendrick Perkins is putting Eddie Curry in the dirt. At Easy Izzy, if you could give any player James Harden's beard, who would benefit the most from it? If I took James Harden's beard off to give it to anybody in the NBA, I would give it back to James Harden. Have you seen James Harden without his beard? It straight up goes from like lip to collarbone, and that's it. There's nothing there. You need the beard for James Harden. For James Harden. I saw James Harden one time at Toys R Us. This was the year he got to the Rockets. There was a day or two after they played the Spurs, and I took my kids to Toys R Us because the thing that I do is I take them and I give them a phone and tell them to just take pictures of whatever toys they want. And so we spend like an hour, and they just fucking take a picture of every single thing in there. But we happened to be there at the same time that the Rockets were there doing a charity toy drive. So like they're there wearing hats and having a great time, and James Harden was there. He was walking behind a group of kids, and he just looked fucking miserable. And it was the funniest thing in the world to me. He doesn't seem like that fun of a guy to be with. Next one, at Copland_J. What created all the positivity in the FOH and on your Twitter? The FOH Army lifts my spirits every day. The FOH is a guerrilla philanthropy group that we just sort of invented on the fly on Twitter. As far as the positivity, again, you got a decision to make here. You're going to have to be like a positive person or a negative person, so which one of those you want to be? I wanted to try to be as positive as possible, in part just because it feels more natural, but also like a lot of times I feel nervous or scared or insecure about stuff. And if I can sort of throw that energy out there, I feel like it just makes me feel more comfortable, or like I can do something that maybe I couldn't have done otherwise. So that's why. Mostly it's for me, and then everybody else just follows behind. Dan Childers, who does Tate think he is, wearing football jerseys on video segments? I agree. Fucking Tate. Did you convince him that it's a good idea as part of a long con to take him down? I try to talk to Tate as little as possible. Tate's the worst, and I will forever say that. John Powers, what actor will play you in your inevitable, is it biopic or biopic?
Biopic?
Biopic.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Go with biopic, though.
I like biopic, like myopic, but biopic. That's the crazy thing about spending a lot of your time on the internet is you just read the words. There are like 10 words that I have no idea. I have no idea how to say them in real life, and we got one of them, biopic or biopic. I want the early version, like the right now, today's Shea is John Leguizamo. Give me him. And young Shea, give me the kid from that movie, Lowriders. Did you see that movie? It's a terrible movie, but it's got Mexicans in it, so I'm going to ride for it. Gabe Nisker, which character on The Office is most like LaMarcus Aldridge and why? Who would you cast on NBA Office? That's a long question. The character on The Office most like LaMarcus is probably Toby, just because I want to be Michael Scott, and Michael Scott does not like Toby, so there you go. Who would you cast on NBA Office? I don't know. That's too long. I'm going to skip that. What is the LaMarcus Aldridge of breakfast cereal? I'm going to skip that one, too. The LaMarcus Aldridge of breakfast cereals is like the first bite is really good, and then by the end, it just doesn't score any points when you need it to. Jordan Moscow, favorite sauce at Wingstop? You said ask anything. Yeah, the only good sauce at Wingstop is Original Hot. It's the only one to get. 6-piece Original Hot with extra sauce on the side. It costs less than $1. And ranch dressing. Don't get blue cheese. Blue cheese is like licking the bottom of a dumpster. Don't do that. It's terrible. Next one, at OK Cobstanasi. I feel like when Some of y'all are setting up your Twitter accounts. You're just fucking hitting the keyboard like this and saying that works. If Shea could play anyone in NBA history one-on-one, who would he have the best chance of beating? JJ Barea is the only guy that I'm going to get. I saw JJ Barea in real life one time, and he's not that big, first of all, but his head is gigantic. It's the biggest head I've ever seen on a player. He would absolutely beat me 15-0 if we played, but I feel like I would at least... he at least wouldn't laugh at me before the game started. The next one, IMC, would Younger Jeezy score a basket on Air Bud? Younger Jeezy is my dog. No, he wouldn't. He's a little French bulldog, and he's bad at everything except for eating French fries. We're good at that together. He's the Shea Serrano of dogs. At that Oakland kid, that's a good name. If you could play on any team other than the Spurs, who would you play for and why? I would play for the Rockets. And then when we play the Spurs in the second round, I would fucking tank the shit out of it. At Jay Lynch, 2321, 95-96 Bulls versus current Golden State team. Who wins? Give me the Bulls, just because. I secretly think the Golden State Warriors would blow them off the court. But I don't know. I like Michael Jordan, and I'm afraid of Michael Jordan. He would win. Austin Wallace, would you play real-life Quidditch? What's Quidditch?
Harry Potter game.
Oh. You know why I know Quidditch? Because it was in that movie with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, and they play it. What is it called? The Internship? The Interns? Something like that. That's the only reason I know. I've never read a Harry Potter book. Yeah, I'd play that game. It looked like fun. How excited are you with DeJounte Murray this year, and do you think he'll be an all-star at some point? Yeah, I love Murray. I think he's going to be really good. Either this year or next year, he makes the jump, and the Spurs are really tough. I'm excited about him. He's long. He's got a body like a spider, like his torso is this big, and it's just all arms and legs coming off of it. I'm really excited about him, mostly because when they played in the playoffs last season, he went against Patrick Beverly in his first game that he started, and Patrick Beverly ate him alive. But then later on in the playoffs, he was like very confident. At the Maltz, which current NBA players would end up on American Gladiators, and what would their nicknames be? I haven't seen American Gladiators in years, but you would have to pick all of the best, biggest guys. So give me LeBron. He could be Turbo. Give me Kawhi as Nitro. And if you have LeBron and Kawhi, nobody is scoring anything. You remember on American Gladiators, they did the thing where they shoot at the target behind the thing? Yeah. I fucking wanted to play that so bad. I wanted that so bad. Victor Milititis, funniest Bill Simmons story. Oh, I don't want to get fired. Let's skip that one. At K. Sendayan, which NBA player would make the best lead in a romantic comedy? I think Victor Oladipo, because you have to have the scene in every romantic comedy where they do a very dramatic thing, a very the big gesture, the grand gesture, and he can sing. So give me Victor Oladipo singing in the rain on the Empire State Building somewhere to somebody. At Slow Mobster, Shea, how do you feel about the superfood kale? Well, I am not a rabbit, so I'm not into it. At Jay Shrugged, what's your favorite non-Texas city? This might be surprising, but I really, really, really liked Portland when I went there. It rained a bit, which I'm not a big fan of the rain, but every place we went to had fantastic food, and everybody was very nice, and you could walk to all the places I was trying to get to. So give me that one. Also, when I went there, we went to the Spurs Blazers game, and everybody was booing LaMarcus Aldridge, so I felt very much at home. Alec Rich, is Bob from La Bamba the greatest depiction of the Mexican uncle we all have? Yes, Bob from La Bamba is a top-tier movie Mexican. It's him. It's all of the guys from Blood In, Blood Out. That's the end of all of the Mexicans that have ever been in a movie. That's
what about
it.
Benny the Jet?
Benny the Jet, I'll pretend like he was Mexican. It seems to me like he wasn't, because he was so athletic, and Mexicans generally are not very athletic. So, shout out racism. At Jesus Crust, who's winning on a game of 2K? Kyrie or AI? I don't know what that means. Kyrie. There you go. Guillerme, Imagine the worst meal you've ever had. That was the superfood kale. For how many days would you be willing to eat it exclusively in exchange for a 100% guaranteed Spurs championship? You know what's crazy? I've been watching the Spurs for my whole entire life. They've already won 5 championships, so it's like if they never win again, it's 100% fine. So I would eat bad food for like 1 day in a row. And if I had to be more than that, then I don't want to do it. I don't need to see them win another one. It's cool. We got it. We're straight. Chris Jett, Deshaun Watson, great quarterback or greatest quarterback? Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's thrown more touchdown passes in his first 5 games than anybody ever has as a rookie. So give me Deshaun Watson. Let's start planning the parade. Best bad good train movie. Unstoppable, Pelham 123, Money Train, or Under Siege 2. I thought that this meant like what's the movie you watch on a train. I've never been on a train ever. Prior to like 3 or 4 years ago, I'd never really been on an airplane either. I've never traveled. But as far as we're talking about bad good train movies, give me Money Train. Give me Woody and Wesley. Give me a guy fucking setting people on fire for no reason. I want Money Train. Under Siege 2 is good. That's the one with Morris Chestnut, right? Give me that's not a bad one. Stephen Anthony, who would win in a fight? 100 sets of Boy A or Boy B or a Giant the Baby? This is in reference to my kids. I have twins. The twins are Boy A and Boy B. They're 10 and 11 years old. I should probably know how old they are if they're my children. They're 11-ish, somewhere around there. And then there's the baby who is he'll be 5 in a couple weeks. If you have a giant version of the baby, he's winning that fight. He's fucking deadly. His favorite thing is he would just walk up to you and punch you right in the dick. And he thinks it's hilarious, and I think it's the worst. So I'm like legit nervous at the house, like when I walk in and I'm looking to see where he is, because I know it's coming. So it's like, he would probably win. I can't wait till he's like 15, and then I'm gonna punch him right back in his dick. That's my plan. I will avoid it right now when he's a baby. At the Maltz, can you imagine how confused he'd be if I just walked in and was like, "Hey, what up?" He would be messed up forever. This is the dumbest thing. At the Maltz, if you were required by law to hold hands with an NBA player for 1 year, this is the best question I've ever got. Who would it be and why? I want, who looks like they have soft hands? Give me Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard probably is like super into moisturizing his hands before he goes to sleep. You know, on all the old TV shows. Oh, you got a book? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Very awesome.
This is my book. Go buy this book. You know, on all of the old TV shows, there's always a scene where it's like the husband and the wife, and they're getting ready for bed, and the wife is always putting the lotion on. I feel like Damian Lillard definitely does that. It just looks so soft and smooth, and he's also very handsome. 2 more. Tyler Gates. What can your Twitter followers do to get you to do a Game of Thrones reaction vid with Jason and Mallory? I would never watch Game of Thrones with those two because they're fucking crazy about Game of Thrones. I would feel disrespectful doing that. It would be like if you got a toddler to play one-on-one with LeBron James, is what it would feel like. If being Twitter famous added inches to your height, how much taller than Network would you be? I don't know what that means. I would never ever be bigger than Jason Concepcion, who's the #1 person on planet Earth, and I love him forever. Let's end. Is that it? Is that a good ending? That was like a very sweet thing. Are there questions over here?
Questions from the fans?
Oh, great.
Hi, Shea.
Hi.
My name's Kevin. Can you tell us about your book for people who don't know about it?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you about my book. This book is called Basketball and Other Things. It is a super deep dive into like the pre-revolutionary American societies. You should go buy it. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Is that it? Are we done? I think we're done. Yeah?
Are you on?
Clap it out. Let's clap it out. All right.